Hey guys, this is Jonathan from Explore It. I'm just about to show you a one-player game that I recorded yesterday. Was it Thursday? A couple days ago. Anyway, we're going to take a look at it, and I hope you enjoy. At the end of the video, I'll go ahead and come back online, and we'll talk about what we saw. Thanks. Have a great day. Okay, tonight I'm going to be playing the Brute Half Elf. So the Brute is a striker, and I'm going to be playing just the one player game. So that means I'm starting out with 24 gold. Before we play the game, I'm going to shuffle the card decks here. Get those all taken care of. Then we'll go ahead and draw our cards. Just did the power-up deck. Now I'm doing the quest deck here, and then the circumstance deck. All right, let's see what we have. Circumstances across the board. We have maimed and affliction. Thieves. Oh, not starting out very good. Stranglevines, a level 1 magic nature. Cave trolls, a level 5 monstrous humanoid. And marauders, a level 5 humanoid. Okay. And then we have across the bottom of the card of the board a couple of quests here. We have a bounty, 2 explore, a navigate, and an aid quest. Okay, so it looks like Explorer is going to be definitely a good thing to have. Because I'm the half-elf, my half-elf ability is once per game turn for 2 energy, the group gains the benefit of moving cautiously even if they didn't do so. So that'll be a good thing for me to use, especially because I have a lot of really terrible circumstances at the top of the board. Really the only one I could face right now would be Stranglevines or Thieves. And Thieves, I would have to make sure I've got all of my gold spent before I encounter them, because with low skills I probably won't come out ahead in that one. So before we begin the game, I'm going to roll to see which city we're going to start on. So let's go ahead and roll. Hex. So that means I'm going to start way on the side of the board here. That also means that we get to uncover a new hex tile chosen at random. So let's go ahead and choose one of those. Be this guy here. Okay. All right, so we've got our hex tile put out, and it actually has a shrine on it too, so that's actually a pretty good spot. Let me take a few moments and put out the rest of the quests that we have. So we have a quest on B, which is right here. It's in the water. Quest on D, which is there. Quest on quadrant C, which is going to be right here. That's about as close as I can get to quests. And I've got one more quest there. Okay, so because I start in the 6th city, which is the Halfling city of Restwindale, I can purchase luck stones for a gold there. So I think I'm going to purchase a couple of those. Instead of spending 2 gold, I get to spend 1. So I'm going to spend a couple on those just right off the bat. Spend 2 gold, I'll go down to 22 gold. When you begin the game on a 1-player or a 2-player game, you're getting 24 gold to start. So I'm going to also spend my my gold on some gear upgrades. Because I'm a half-elf, I start the game with a pretty low purple ability, which is actually the ability I probably will be using quite a bit. So I should probably increase that a little bit. I'm going to purchase 2 gear upgrades right away, spending 9 gold on that to get that to be a rank 3. Okay, so that drops me down to 13 gold left. Then I'm going to spend, let's see, I'm going to spend 9 gold and getting 1 rank upgrade for each of my skills. So now I'll start with 3 navigate, 2 explore, and 4 survival. And then that drops me down to 4 gold left. I'll buy 2 potions. I'll have 2 gold left, and then I'll buy some food. So 2 gold equals 4 units of food. And I will begin with 8 food. So there's our character. I'm naming him Tanis for you Dragonlance fans out there. So Tanis, our half-elf, he's good against creatures. That is his favorite opponent, being a half-elf. So I guess let's get started. So at the beginning of the game, we roll to see where we begin, and then you basically choose where you want to go on the board. Now, because I don't really have any quests in this area, I'm going to probably end up starting to go out this way. Now, this quest here is actually on a mountain hex, so I can't actually make it onto that location until I purchase climbing gear. So I think maybe what I'll do is I'm going to make my way over to this quest and try and do that one. We have a ruin at the bottom of the board here as well. So let's see if we can do that, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to spend let's see, no, I'm going to use 2 energy, and that's my half-elf ability to allow me to move cautiously. So I'm going to use 2 energy right off the bat and go down to 3 energy, and we're going to see what happens. So I've moved. Now I have to roll my skills. We're going to roll all 3. Now, because I moved cautiously, we gain the benefit of not wandering. So I don't actually have to roll the green. The 2 other dice, I have both 8s on the roll on the die result, and that is higher than my skills. So my yellow fails. I would have needed a 1 or a 2 to make that roll. And my blue also fails. I would have needed a 4 or less to make that one. So that means I have to spend some food. My food rating is 2. Okay. I don't get any gold. One other thing to note, when we're playing a 1-player game, I'm also playing double up rules, which means I'm going to be getting double the gold, and that basically means we start with Bezel Corks and Hansifier. And Bezel Corks and Hansifier is a item available in the black market that doubles your gold input. So whenever we gain gold, you gain twice as much. Okay, so let's see. I've moved. I've done skills. Now it's time for a circumstance. I roll a 3. Stranglevines. Well, I think we're going to do this. I moved cautiously, but I'm going to actually fight the Stranglevines. I think that I could probably take them pretty easily. All right, so they have a health of 4, and let's see here. They are magic nature. I'm only good against creatures, so I will not get the favorite opponent bonus. I'm going to start with a aggressive stance by spending 1 energy. Go down to 2 energy. And let's see, I'm going to do 7 total health damage. They have 4 health. This is a level 1 magic nature encounter. And then I'm going to roll to see what they do. And I rolled a hex. So single target health and regen 4 health as long as the Stranglevines have energy. So I did 7 damage, but they gain regen. And regen kicks in at the beginning of the round, beginning of the game turn, which means it the end of the game turn, they take 7 damage, and it is dead. So they do not get the regen because they did not last the round. However, I do take 3 health damage in the process. So that means I'm down to 5 health and 2 energy. And the reward for the Stranglevines is 2 gold. Because we have Bezel Quark's Enhancifier, that doubles to 4 gold. Alright, so we managed to defeat the Stranglevines, Tanis Half Elven. And we flip over a new circumstance. Okay. Now we have the event of the game turn phase. We're not on an event location, which means we skip right to the Dead King phase. We're going to roll a d6 and see if we get a 5 or a hex. Double up rules, he appears a little quicker. So we have a 5 or a hex is the roll that we need for him to appear, and he does appear on the roll of a hex. So we're going to roll one more time and see which of the 6 cities he's going to start on. And that is a 4. So he starts on city 4, which is over here. So that gets a Fallen City marker. He's taken over the Dwarven Citadel of Hogrindish. And that means I can't go there anymore. So it's my turn again. I have 5 health and 2 energy left. I think I'm going to use one of my potions before I begin the game turn here. And that means I have 1 left because I purchased 2. That brings me to full. And then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to use my half-elven ability to move cautiously once again. Let's see what happens here. So I'm going to roll my yellow and blue. I don't have to roll the green because we're moving cautiously. And, alright, well, at least I get the hex. I'm sorry, the explorer. So the explorer roll means we're going to get 2 gold. And again, it's doubled because of the Bezel Quarks. So we have 8 gold total now. That was a bonus of 4 gold on that roll. My survival failed pretty aggressively, so I go down 2 food. So I'm now down to 4 food. And now we move on to the circumstance phase. So again, I moved cautiously. That means I can get rid of something if I don't want it. 1. So this is an affliction card, and afflictions are pretty horrible to get, especially early game. This one I probably could have survived, but I'm going to discard it because I moved cautiously with my half-elven ability. We're going to flip over another card, and now we're going to move into the event phase, which is the quest. So this particular quest is a navigate quest. And it requires 1 success to complete. An elven scout has been sent to the area to investigate signs of a stormwolf pack. Obtain the scout's report and bring it back to the city. Now, at the bottom of each of these quests are challenges, and this particular challenge is only for the Beastmaster. So if the Beastmaster were in play, the Beastmaster could actually have a chance to get the Stormwolves encounter, which is a magic nature encounter, and add it to his pack. Normally he can only add creatures to his pack, so this would be one way the Beastmaster could get a little bit more powerful, and we have several of those cards for other roles as well in the deck. So I need to roll my navigate, and I need to get a 3 or lower on the roll, and I missed with an 8. Okay, so I miss that quest, and at the end of the turn, the Dead King is going to move. Actually, he's going to select a target. He does not have a target. So we're going to roll the d6, and I rolled a 1. So that is going to be and that's right over by me. So that is actually pretty scary because that is not going to take him very long to get there. So that is probably the most horrible scenario for our hero. Next turn, he will be moving at a rate of 1. So on a one-player game, he moves at a rate of 0 plus 1 for every fallen city. So currently, he's moving at a rate of 1. All right, so the nice thing about camping, and camping is when you don't go anywhere on the map, you get a bonus to your skill rolls for that turn. So I'm going to camp here, and that means I'm also going to heal. When you camp, you actually heal. Let's see here. Just grab the sheet, and you heal 3 extra health and energy this turn. So I am back up to full energy and full health. I'm going to stay where I am, so I'm going to roll my yellow and blue. I get a +1 to the roll. A -1 to the roll bonus. So that 3 turns into a 2, which is enough for my explorer to be successful. And the 5 turns into a 4, which is enough for my blue to be successful. So 4 gold is definitely welcome. I don't have to spend food. And now it's time to roll that circumstance. 4. This would be cave trolls. I do not think I could take the cave trolls. They are a level 5 encounter. They have 22 health. Ooh, this would be a really tough one. I'd probably die if I tried to take them on alone. So because we camped, we managed to avoid the cave trolls. It's hard because, boy, if I were a couple more game turns into the game, I probably could try them. I would be getting 2 power-up cards and 16 gold for that encounter. So too bad I can't get it, but at least it gets some of those hard ones turned over on the circumstance mat. All right, so now I'm going to roll for my quest one more time. I'm going to roll my green. I get a -1 bonus to the roll, so I need a 4 or less, and that's a 3. So I'm going to mark this quest as complete. Actually, why don't I just pull the camera out so you can see a little bit more here. Okay, so I'm going to mark this quest as complete, and that just means I'm going to flip it over. And when I go back to a city, then I get to turn it in, and we get 2 power-up cards. So next turn, at the end of this turn, actually, I should say, the Dead King moves 1. He moves here. So he's still going to move 1 next turn. So I can turn this in. I'm going to get to the city before he arrives there. I'm going to try and warn everybody, like, hey, Dead King's going to come for you guys. We got to get out of here. But because I'm a half-elf, nobody listens to me. So let's see. They probably are not happy with the news, but yeah, what can you do? So I'm getting rid of this Navigate quest. I turn that in, and I get 2 power-up cards. So the power-up cards, ooh, that's a good one. Another good one. So I'm getting a bonus of +2 purple and blue, and a +2, which are my masteries, and a +2 health and energy. So those are totally welcome here. Very good at the start of the game. Just increasing my character a bit. Now, because I'm in a city, I can spend some of my gold. So, let's see. At rank 7 of my aggressive stance, the damage that I do is always piercing, which is good. Piercing just means that it cannot be negated. For now, though, I think I just need to look at some other items in the marketplace. So how about that camping gear? I'm going to try and get, climbing gear. What can we get at this city? So this is city number 1. This is the elves. So Fanehill, the city of silver. Led by the Council of the Wind, this elven home is the gateway to the forest of Adramon. They are deeply troubled by the growing undead plague. You may purchase camping gear for 2 gold. Well, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to spend 2 gold on the camping gear. And the camping gear is going to give me a regenerative effect at the beginning of each movement phase. I'm going to be healing 1 health and energy. Let's see. I'm also going to buy some climbing gear that will help me get into this quest here. One other thing, I get to flip over the next quest, and that is a arc. So let's see. Now this is a quest arc, which means I'm drawing 2 cards, and the first one I don't get to look at. So I get to look at the second one though, and that is a dual quest. So that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good quest. It's going to be a difficult one. It's not on any of the locations that we've turned over yet. So I need to find hex tile K in order to actually complete this quest. So I'm not actually probably going to be doing this one just yet. Let's see. I'm still in the city, so what else can I buy here? I'm going to get another potion so that I'm up to 2 potions. And I'm going to get one more batch of food. So that's 6 gold that I currently have. I think I'm going to spend 2 more upgrades on my energy just to get my energy up a bit. So I'm going to spend, the first upgrade is worth 2 and the second is worth 3. That's 5 gold. I have 1 gold left, which I think I'm just going to plug into food. So this is our characters so far. So we have 10 health, 9 energy, 4 attack, 3 guard, 5 for both my masteries, 3, a 2, and a 4 for my skills, and then 8 food. A luck stone still, and 2 potions. Okay, so at the end of this turn, the Dead King moves 1. And we are now in jeopardy of being attacked by him. So I need to get off of this location. I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 and attempt that quest. So I'm also going to use my half-elven skill one more time to move cautiously. So that's going to drop me down to 7 energy. And then we're going to roll the blue and the yellow. I make the blue, I miss the yellow, so I don't have to spend food, I do not get gold. Then I roll to see what the circumstance is. And it's a draw from the deck. And it's a treant. So magical nature. Again, we're fighting a magic nature. I think I'm going to attack them this time because you know, I feel like I can take the treant, and that would be 8 gold worth. So let's do it. They have 10 health. I'm going to spend 1 energy. Now this is one of the changes for a single player game where you could spend 1 energy and it allows you to use your guard at half rank and use another action in the same turn, and this is only available in a 1-player game. So this turn I'm going to spend 1 energy using my guard at half rank, and then I'm also going to use aggressive stance, which is going to do 9 damage. So I am down to 5 total energy left. Okay, now we're going to see what the treants do. Treants roll a hex, so that means single target health to a minimum of 1 remaining. So I would take 6 health damage, and it's piercing of 2, which means my guard absolutely does not help at all. That was a waste of energy. Okay, so I have 4 health left and 5 energy, and they have 1, the treants have 1 health left. So I'm going to do a brutal assault. Let's see, just 1 attack this round. I'm also going to use guard again, just as I did last round, just in case. It'll help me just in case I take a really hard hit here. So spending 1 energy and then doing 4 damage. They do a group energy attack. The treants reflect up to 2 damage from each attack this round. They only have 1 health left, so I get 2 damage reflected back to me. and my guard is actually saving from 1, so I go down to 3 health left. And then the energy damage is 5 energy damage. Again, my guard is helping me by 1, so I take 4 energy damage. Okay, so I'm down to 3 health and 0 energy, and the treants are dead. So I get 8 gold from that encounter. Managed to squash the treants, and I'm going to use one of those potions to bring me back up to 6 health and 3 energy. Okay, so at the end of that combat sequence, now we have our event, and the event is the aid quest. So let's read the aid quest here. The halflings have invited themselves to the dwarven iron mine Hagdurgar. The dwarves have invited you to escort them back out. Bring them to a city. Until you do, reduce your movement by 1 hex when moving normally each turn. Challenge: they must have loved exploring that mine. They've asked you to take them to another. Locate another dwarven mine. They share the same map icon and take them there. They'll give each hero 2 luck stones. So if I take them to another mine, I'm not sure, do we have another mine? Sure, we have a mine over here, and we have a mine over here. Each of those places I could easily get to. So that is something we could probably do. I'm going to keep this open, and I'm going to mark on the escort area of the battle mat that the halflings have 3 health, and they defend each turn 4 damage, so 4 defense. So I have to keep them alive, and if I do, I get the bonus 2 luck stones after I take them to another location. At the end of the round, the dead king takes the first city. So the elves, they didn't heed my warning. Those stuck-up elves, they don't like the half-breed here. So, all right, so let's go on to the next part of the game. I have a few options. I can, let's see, I can move 1, 2, 3, 4, and move toward that mine. I'm not really in a position to actually fight the first boss. I would need to have a little bit extra health, I believe. My camping gear does kick in, so I do have 7 health and 4 energy. But it's probably not in my best interest to try that just yet. So maybe what I'll do is I will move 1, 2, 3, 4 over to the other mine here. And all right, so then I'm going to roll all 3 of my skills. I'm going to spend 2 more energy and be able to move cautiously again this round. I feel like that's going to be something I do every single round just as a safety net here. So I roll a 3 on my yellow and a 6 on my survival. So I miss both of those rolls, which means I have to spend some food. And then we have the circumstance, and that's another hex. Poisoned. So I move cautiously, so we're getting rid of that. Okay. And now let's see, we have the event is basically that we've brought the halflings to the mine. So this can be flipped over, the challenge is completed. And the dead king is going to select a new target. So he is selecting city number 4, which is already fallen. So we have to roll again. City number 5. So now he's headed down here, and he will be moving at a rate of 2 hexes per turn. Okay, so I think I'm going to go back to the city and turn in this quest. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to spend my last 2 energy Actually, I would have healed 1 because of the camping gear. So we're going to heal 1 health and energy, and back in the city, hopefully here. I'm going to roll my yellow and blue. My yellow fails, my blue fails, so I find no treasure, and I spend 2 more food. Okay, I'm at the city, so I'm going to turn in this quest. I get 2 luck stones out of that. Pretty good deal for the halflings. And then let's see, I have a dual quest here. You know what? I just realized that in order for me to make it to this location, because the halflings make me move 1 less, I would have had to move recklessly. Moving recklessly consumes energy, so I would have had to use my potion. And in fact, I only have 1 potion, so I'm actually going to be at this location. So my potion goes away, and I'm not quite there yet, which means I don't get the power up yet. So Dead King is going to move 2. 1, 2. At the I would have had a circumstance too. Oh, now I'm messed up. So poison would have happened here. Circumstance, I do have to roll a circumstance for there. So trogs. All right. So trogs are monstrous humanoid. They're a level 2 encounter. And let's see, they have 10 health. I think I can easily take them here. So I'm going to attack with aggressive stance. I have 1 energy, so that brings me down to 0. And I do 9 damage. Okay. And then, where's the die? Here it is. They do a hex. So single target health, roll a 10-sided die. On a roll of 3 or less, a second target is affected. 3, although there are no more than 1 target in the group, so I suffer 5 damage, or 5 damage there. So I'm down to 3 health left. Okay, so I think I need to run from this battle because I definitely can't. They only have 1 health left, but I think they're going to probably kill me next turn. So the way running works is you roll your navigate, and you basically get a +2 bonus to the roll. So you're going to roll green. You get a +2 bonus. That's a 50-50 chance for me. And on a success, you wander out. You basically get out of combat, but you wander in a direction, a random direction. If you fail the roll, then you are in combat yet, and you use your guard ability, your defend ability. So I need a 5 or less. And I got an 8. So I am guarding this turn. Let's see what they do. 3. Single target health. The target becomes fatigued. So 3 damage. I'm now fatigued, which means I lose 1 energy during the declaration phase of each round of combat. But because I have no energy, I guess that doesn't matter too much in my case. Now, I guarded with a rank of 3, so that means I took no damage at least. And next turn, I can try and run again. So I'm going to roll the green 1 more time, and I get a bonus +2. So now I'm at a 7 or less in order to run. And I made it with a 3. So I run from the trogs. There are just too many of them. And I'm going to roll to see where I wander to. And I wander south right here. So we're wasting some time here because of those halflings. I couldn't get there. All right. So the Dead King moves 2. And now it's my turn again. Let's see. I get 1 health and 1 energy back. So we'll go up to 4 health and 1 energy. And then I'm just going to move cautiously along the road. So 1, 2 into the city. And now we've moved cautiously. I don't wander. I only moved 2, so that's those pesky halflings. We made it. All right, so my 4 survival is a success, and the 2 explore is a fail. I now get to turn in that aid quest, and let's see what we get for our 2 power-ups. We get +2 attack and defend and +1 first mastery. That's pretty darn good. So I'm just going to put those in here. So I now have 6 attack, 5 defense, 6 aggressive stance, and 5 relentless strikes. So that's pretty darn good. I'll take that any day. I'm going to spend 1 of my gold to heal completely because I was in pretty dire shape there. I almost died. I'm also going to buy 2 potions. Actually, yeah, 2 potions is probably fine. So I'm down to 5 gold. Then let's see. I'm going to purchase. I don't have enough for reliable mounts. That would be a good one to have. But I think what I'll do is spend 4 gold on my red ability. So that goes up to rank 7. That's a pretty healthy 13 damage now. So that's pretty good. I'm also going to spend my last gold on 2 or on 1 unit of rations, which is 2 food. Okay, Dead King moves 2. And let's see. So, I could have spent some money on that, on getting a boat, folding boat, but I didn't spend the money, so I'm going to not take it. So I think what I'm going to do is let's go and reveal a new hex tile. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3. I'm going to spend 2 energy to move cautiously. Roll all 3 of our dice. I made survival. Actually, I moved cautiously with the half elf ability, so I don't need to roll green. And I made my yellow, so I get 4 gold from that. So that's pretty good. Now we're going to roll for the circumstance. I need to refill slot number 3 here. Shambling zombies are on the board, and I fight them. I think I'm going to definitely fight them. They're pretty easy to do. So they have a health of 10, and I'll be getting 10 gold out of the battle. So I'm going to use aggressive stance by spending 1 energy, and that will do 13 health damage. And they dual target health. Each target is infected, doing 6 less damage each round. So I am infected, doing 6 less damage each round. So I would have a total of actually it's next round that it would kick in. So they are dead. Managed to defeat them. That's 10 health. I'm sorry, 10 gold from that. So I'm going to put that back here. And we're looking at no event. I do get to put out a new hex tile. And look at that, we have a ruin right next to us. That's pretty good. I think that's what we're going to do next turn. And the Dead King moves 2, and he is going to move to that city and take that over. So now he's going to be moving at a rate of 3 per turn. Okay. You know what? 1, 2, 3. I could have moved a fourth one. So I think I'm gonna end up moving here last turn before he moves to the city. So backing up one step, we're gonna do the ruin, and the ruin is a D10 for the event phase. We're gonna see what happens. 4. Rescue operation. You've saved a group of merchants from certain death in the ruins. The story they'll tell of your daring rescue will spread through the valley. Deliver them to a city safely, and each hero will earn 8 gold, which would be doubled to 16. If you choose to purchase a fortification, it will be built in 1 turn instead of 3. Ooh, this could be good. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We have the rescue operation. We found a group of merchants in the ruin, and we are going to escort them back to a city. And if we can do that safely, then they will be able to give us a lot of gold. So that'll be good. So now the Dead King has moved, taken over that city, and it's my turn again. So we are going to put the cleared location here, just to note that we can't go back there. And then we're going to move cautiously. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no river or road that can take us there cautiously, so I have to use my half-elf ability once more. And I'm down to 4 energy, but we make it back to the city, which is perfect for those merchants. I do not make my survival, and I do not make my explorer. But now I have a whole lot of money to spend. So I have 31 gold now. 31 gold. I think I definitely need to increase my skills a bit. So I'm going to take some time to do that. Just, let's see. So I'm going to spend 12 gold on that. We're down to 23 gold left. To get 1 bonus on each of my skills. Okay. Then I'm going to spend a gold at the inn to heal completely. Down to 22. Then I'm going to purchase the fortification plan, which cost me 12 gold. I'll be down to 10. And so I get to place the fortification in any space that I vacate. So I get to actually place this on a spot that I choose, and then I can use that to fight the Dead King at the end of the game. Okay. Now, it actually takes a few rounds, a few turns to create it. It takes 2 turns instead of 3 because of those merchants. So I think what I'll do is first of all, the Dead King gets his turn. Oh, actually I get 10 gold to spend yet. Before, I think I'll do 1 rank in my purple ability, bringing me up to 7. And that means I have 4 gold left. I'm going to buy a folding boat for 3 and 1 more potion. And I'm down to 0 gold again. Okay. Okay, so next turn. So at the end of this turn, the Dead King is going to select a new target. We roll a 2 all the way over here. So that's really good. It's going to take him a good amount of time to cross the map, giving me a little bit of breathing room in order to try and combat him. So let's see. We're going to do that, the Explorer quest over here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to spend 2. I'm going to spend 2 energy, and that way I'm moving cautiously. And then we're going to roll the blue and the yellow. 5 and a 5. So my 5 survival kicks in. I do not have to spend any food. I do not get any gold, though. That measly explore check is not helping. And now I'm going to roll a circumstance. 3. Brainwashed. I move cautiously. I'm getting rid of it. Dungeoneering manual is on the board. Okay, so the dead. Now I'm going to do the quest. The quest is a explore roll. It is rumored that Civ the Siren Queen has hidden an item of special importance to the dead king inside an old shipwreck in exchange for her life. Go there and seek it out. Challenge. You've found the item, but Civ has cast an enchantment on it. To bypass its power, the group must spend 3 energy per hero. In doing so, the item is destroyed and the heroes have inadvertently fractured her power. Each hero may now treat Civ the Siren Queen as a favorite opponent. So, I'm going to need 2 successes on this one, which means I'm going to have to stay here one turn in order to get it. Which would actually help with the camping mechanic, because now that gives us a bonus to the roll result. So hopefully we'll make this happen. I need to roll a 3 or less, and I don't. It's a 10. Time to use one of my luck stones. I'm going to use a luck stone, re-roll this die, hopefully get a 3 or less, and I got a 2. Okay, so we make the first explore roll. I need to make 1 more in order for this to succeed. Dead King is going to move 1, 2, 3 now. And he's moving closer to his target. So now we're going to spend the next game turn here, because I want to try and get that second success on the Explorer roll. So I'm going to roll my yellow and blue only. I get a hex on yellow, which means I get 4 gold. I miss my 10 on survival, which means I take 2. I have to subtract 2 food. And now I can roll for the circumstance. And we get a 4. Storm wolves. We find a pack of storm wolves in the marsh. So this is another magical nature encounter. I would get 10 gold and 3 food from this. I think I'm going to try it. So, yeah, let's try it. So they have 12 health. I am going to use my aggressive stance by spending 1 energy. I'm down to 6. Then I'm going to spend another energy to use my guard this round as well. So now I'm down to 5 energy. I'm doing 14 damage. And the Storm Wolves, they are doing group health. 1 target becomes frozen. So group health of 4. I guard 5 this round, so I take no damage. I become frozen, and they die. Now, the frozen condition. Frozen heroes cannot act. Roll survival during the declaration phase of each round of combat. After 2 successes, you may act normally and are no longer frozen. So, normally, if combat would have continued, I would have remained frozen until I succeeded on 2, excuse me, 2 rounds of survival rolls. But because the combat ends, I'm just frozen in the marsh for a little while, probably a few hours, and then I'm good again. So we get 9 gold from that. Maybe it's embarrassing for Tanis the Half Elf here that he was frozen in the marsh for some time. But, you know, there wasn't anybody around to see it. So, all right. So we do get the gold. The food, though, was 3 food. That helps me tremendously. Then I'm going to roll for that explore check again. 6. I miss it, so let me use another luck stone. I have 1 luck stone remaining. I need a 4 or less this turn. I miss it even worse with a 7. So I don't manage to do it this round. The Dead King is going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to spend one more game turn in the marsh here, and we're going to try and... Oh, look, lesser water elemental. All right, so I'm going to stay where I am. I'm going to roll my blue and my yellow. 4 and a 4. I get both, so this is very lucrative area for me. I've got 17 gold in my pocket currently. I don't need to spend any food, and I'm going to roll for circumstance, and I get Marauders this time. So the Marauders, they are the level 5 humanoid. They would give 14 gold, 4 food, and a power-up, so I have to do this. I have to definitely try and fight them here. So I'm going to do that. They have 18 health. I am going to do a aggressive stance for 14 damage. Now my aggressive stance is piercing damage, so they can't defend against it, which is nice. I'm also going to use my guard this turn, so I'm spending 2 energy total this round. And let's see what they do. So the Marauders, number 4, group energy. Those who run out of energy suffer 4 health damage. So this would have been an 8 total energy damage. I'm guarding at half rank, so I'm reducing that by 2. That means I would run out unless I use a potion. Now, because I guarded this round, I can still use an item, so I'm going to use that item in order to remain at above 0 energy. It would mean that I drop from a 5, let's see, it would go up to an 8, and then I would take 6 damage. So I'm down to 2 energy left, and they have 4 health left at the end of the round. So this turn, I think I'm just going to do a brutal assault for 7 damage. Oh, I forgot about my rank 7 ability. So at rank 7, this damage is always considered piercing. Additionally, the brute treats each opponent as a favored opponent while using aggressive stance. So that means I actually get a bonus die of damage to inflict to the Marauders. 5 damage is enough to defeat them. So they are dead. Got the Marauders. I'm up 14 gold. So that's a total of 31 gold, 4 food. Oh, we're making it out now. And 2 power-up cards. +1 to both masteries and +2 to navigate. Awesome. That puts me at 8 for my first mastery, 6 for my second mastery, and rank 6 for my navigate. So that's pretty good. Okay, the Marauders are dead. Flip over a new card. Shady Informant. Alright, the last thing we're going to do in this game turn is the event. So we're going to roll that yellow. 9. I have 1 luck stone left. I'm totally using it. I need a 6 or lower now. And I got a 4. Okay, now we make it. We make that second success, and we've spent a great deal of time in this location. I'm not going to try and do the added challenge just because I'm not going to go up against Civ. I think she'd still be a little too hard on a one-player game in my current condition. I could always try her a little bit later in the game, but I think for now I'm okay. So let's get rid of that. Oh, we were fighting on a shipwreck. So, all right. Not the marsh. All right, so now the Dead King's moving 3. 1, 2, 3. Slowly getting to the human port over here. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to go back to the city to turn that quest in. But before I do, I'm going to drop the fortification. Let's drop it right next to the city here. So 1, 2. We're going to drop that fortification there. So in 2 game turns, that's going to be our. Actually, I'm gonna go to this guy here and drop it on the ruin instead. Okay, so go to the city, turn in that quest. I get 1 power-up card for the quest, plus 1 more. So plus 3 total, a well-executed plan, and a plus 1 to my red and my blue. So that's awesome. 8 and 7. And let's see, I'm going to use that plus 3 to increase my health up to a 13. Just to give me a little extra insurance policy against the Dead King here. Okay. So now the Dead King moves 1, 2, 3. I do have 31 gold though, so I think it's time to spend some more gold. I'm going to increase each of my skills 1 more time because obviously they're not high enough yet. So that's 15 gold worth. And that puts me at 16 gold left. And 7 navigate, 4 explore, and 6 survival. Then I'm also going to increase my attack by 2 ranks by spending 11 gold. I have 5 gold left, and my attack rank is now a whopping 10. So that'll be definitely good for us. I have 5 gold left. I'm going to buy a handy elixir. And I'm going to buy a luck stone with the remaining 2. Okay. Alright, so Tanis is done with his turn. We already moved the Dead King. I moved him preemptively before I spent my gold. So it's our turn again. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know what? Let's see. I didn't purchase reliable mounts. If I would have done that, we could have gotten to the ruin, but that's okay. We're gonna just come up a little bit short. I'm going to use my half elf ability to allow me to move cautiously. I made my navigate. My yellow I fail, and my blue I actually make that, so that's good. The circumstance for the round is the Dungeoneering Manual. Alright, so the Dungeoneering Manual. This dusty old tome is filled with tips and tricks to help you survive many of the challenges you will face wherever your adventures may take you. You may use this tome to gain a -1 bonus to each of your skills during the event phase and not in combat. In addition, if you succeed on a quest skill roll that requires multiple successes, you may make another skill roll attempt to gain another success. This would have been amazing for the quest that we had down over here. It would have allowed us to not waste as much time. Studying such a manual takes time. You may not use this tome on any turn you've moved your full movement speed. So again, we were spending time there camping. We could have used this card to actually gain multiple uses of that skill. I forgot to flip over a quest. We have another dual quest here. We have M, L, K, and G. Really, I have no quests on the board here, so I might have to use a luck stone to help me basically recover some of these quests that I can't use, and that's just something I could do. You know, I haven't also fought any bosses yet, so maybe that's what we can do next. All right, the Dead King is going to move 2 to take over this city, and now he has taken over 4 cities. He's moving at a rate of 4 now. My turn. So I'm going to move 1 cautiously into the ruin. Moving cautiously into the ruin. Rolling my yellow and blue. Again, I fail both of those, so that means I'm using some food. And now we have, we skip the circumstance because we're in a ruin. So instead of rolling a circumstance, one hero rolls a 10-sided die. Consult the table below. So 3, treasure chamber. You've found a treasure chamber. Each hero rolls explore with a -1 bonus to the roll. For each success, roll a 10-sided die and add it to 1 total. Each hero gains gold equal to the result. So I get to roll, and if I get a 4 or less, actually I need a 5 or less, and I get a 6. Oh, okay, so I need to use my luck stone, because I would really like that treasure chamber. So I'm using the luck stone to re-roll. I need a 5 or less. 6 again! It was not meant to be. So I find a treasure chamber, but I cannot break into it. I'm a lousy thief. Okay, so I don't get the treasure chamber, and that is marked as complete. But actually, I'll mark it as complete, and then that's where my fortress is going. So in 2 turns, that's going to be my fortress. I really want that gold, so we're going to build the fortress around it. Be like, don't touch that, that's mine, someday, when I get lockpicking up. Alright, Dead King rolls the d6. 5, and 5 is already taken, so we have 3 and a hex on the board, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, so he's coming back this way. So we're going to put his marker there, his target mark. All right. And I think what I'm going to do now, he's moving at a rate of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So we're going to go fight the first boss. 1, 2, 3. We're going to fight the first boss and see if we can take him out. So he's the Bandit Prince. The Bandit Prince has 25 health, 16 energy. Again, this is a battle that does not include a sapper, so I haven't really been dealing with opponent energy. One playstyle in the game is to sap energy from your opponent, and you gain bonuses in doing that. So because I'm a striker, I don't have those abilities. Alright, I'm going to spend 1 energy, down to 6 energy, and I'm going to use... Aggressive Stance one more time. If I got Relentless Strikes up a little bit more, it would be worth my while to use Relentless Strike instead of Aggressive Stance. But for now, I'm happy with the 18 damage that does for me. And we're going to see what he does. Oh, I get to treat him as a favorite opponent. So that's also doing another 2 for a total of 20 damage. Now, he is doing back to me, roll of 5, and that's Greedy Hand. So Group Explore. The Bandit Prince steals 2 gold from those who fail. So I have to roll my Explore check. And it took out poor Tanis. Let's see. Let's re-roll that here. 4. Okay. 4 is a success. So 4 succeeds. Heroes do not have who do not have the gold to lose suffer 4 health damage instead. Those who succeed evade his hand and lose nothing. So he tries stealing gold from me, and I punch him in the face. He does no damage to me. I've done 20 damage to him. He has 5 health left. And now it's my turn again. I'm going to just do a Brutal Assault for 10 damage. And he does Multi-Slash, Group Health. Piercing 1, Multi-Slash damages each hero for 2 health damage. So I take 2 damage. That brings me down to 11 total health. And I succeed. So we are going to get a total of +2 to navigate. That brings us up to a 9 on Navigate. I get a potion, which is good to have. I get 4 power-ups and 8 gold and 4 food for that battle. He is hoarding all of that gold. So let's look at these power-ups. 4 power-ups for that. Oh, baby. So we have a +2 to our red, +1 to, oh man, that's awesome, to our defend, +2 to both masteries, and +1 health. Okay, so I'm just putting this in here. Just take me a second. All right. So at the end of the turn, oh, and I get to see if the black market opens. So whenever you defeat a boss, you get to roll a d10, and if you roll the number of bosses that you've defeated, the black market opens. So I need to roll a 1, or I'm sorry, a hex really. I missed it, and if I would have rolled a hex, the black market would have opened on my space. All right, so that is a pretty good round. We're up to 22 damage that we're doing. I could probably kick up the difficulty a bit if I wanted to get a little extra gold. But I think the pace is pretty good so far, so I'm not going to kick the difficulty up anymore. First boss is destroyed, so we're going to put a token on that. And then the Dead King moves 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's right on... Oh, I think we got rid of that quest there too quite a while ago. Okay. Where do we want to go? Why don't we go to that shrine, and we'll pick up that that blessing. Maybe that blessing will help us, or we could come down here and do the ruin. How about we do the ruin instead? So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm actually going to move recklessly 5 to get there. Moving recklessly costs some energy. It actually costs 2 energy to do that. So I go to 4 energy. I'm also going to use 2 energy to move cautiously. So I'm down to 2 total. And we're going to roll our blue and our yellow. And the yellow makes it at least for 4 gold. The blue fails, and I consume 2 food. And then we're going to roll to see what we have. 1, Living Storm. So it's a spirit. They have 12 health. And definitely going to hurt them. So let's see. I'm going to do aggressive stance for 1 energy. I have 1 energy remaining for 22 damage. They only have 12 health. Let's see what they do. Keep knocking him over with this die. 2. So 2 is dual target health and energy. So I suffer 4 health and energy. So I'm down to 6, actually 5, and 0. So I have 5 health and 0 energy, and they're dead. I get them. That means 12 gold for me, to 24 gold. And the Living Storm has been vanquished. Okay. Oh, I didn't even need to do the circumstance because I'm in the ruin. That's okay. So let me just take that 12 back. I'll go back up to my original vitals. I should not have fought the Living Storm because we moved onto a ruin, which means you skip the circumstance phase. Okay, so roll a d10 for the circumstance, and I roll a 7, trapped. Group survival. The heroes uncover a terrible trap. If even one hero fails, select the first affliction or draw from the deck until you find one. The group now suffers from this affliction. Draw an additional circumstance. Okay, so this is bad. I need to roll my survival, and if I fail, I have to grab a circumstance. And I make it with a hex. So we managed to get away from the trap, and that one is now complete. All right, Dead King, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's going to get there next turn. So I think there's not much else for me to do other than fight the Megapede. Let's fight the Megapede. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go to the 5th boss. We are going to roll our blue and our yellow. I make the yellow, which means I get 4 gold. Miss the blue, so I spend some food. I'm going to spend one of my potions to go up to full health and 5 energy. And let's see here. Let's grab the Megapede. Alright, the Megapede has 72 health. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit more challenging. However, I'm going to get 6 power-ups, 24 gold, 4 food, and the black market might open. Not to mention a +3 bonus to defense and an adrenaline booster. So this is going to be a really good thing for me to have if I can pull it off. Okay. So in order for me to do so, I am going to spend 1 energy to use guard this round at half rank. Then I'm going to use Relentless Strike 3 times, which means I have to spend 2 energy, down to 2 energy left. And that's going to do 36 damage. 36 damage across 3 attacks. And this is also a creature. So I'm a half elf. That means my favorite opponent is creature. So I get to roll the favorite opponent die. And I get a hex. Yes. So that hex explodes, which means that's a roll of a 6. And I get to roll again. And it's another hex. So that's 12 damage. Oh my god. There's 3 hexes in a row. That's 18 damage so far. And 20 damage for the favorite opponent roll. That is insane. Okay, so the Megapede is going to, let's see what the Megapede does. He rolls a 1. Pincer attack. Dual target health, piercing of 3. The Megapede attacks with its pincers. 2 targets suffer 5 health each. So, I am suffering 5 health. My guard drops that to 2 health. So I'm down to 12 health and 2 energy. And I'm going to use that potion as well during my guard action. So that raises me back up to 14 health and 5 energy. And that means we have, let's see, 52. So he has 14 health left out of 72. That was pretty darn good. This turn, I'm simply going to use, let's see, I'm going to use Aggressive Stance for 1 energy to do 22 damage. Piercing, it can't be defended against, and he's my favorite opponent. So that's another 4 damage. 26 total damage being done this round, and the Megapede rolled a hex here, so that is Entangled. Dual target health. The Megapede deals 4 health damage, which may only be reduced to 2. Each target also becomes entangled. So I take 4 health damage. I'm down to 10 total, and I'm entangled. Entangled heroes must succeed on a navigate roll during the declaration phase of the round of combat in order to act normally. If it fails, a hero may only attack or defend at half rank. So I'm entangled in its legs, and I end up killing it. So we managed to defeat the Megapede. And let's see, we get a +3 to our defense. That is huge. We get an adrenaline booster. This is an item that is found in the black market. We get 24 gold. So we're up to 40 gold currently. 4 food. So we're eating the Megapede. That sounds disgusting. And we get to roll the black market to see if the black market opens. I've defeated 2 bosses now. So I need a roll of a hex or a 2. And I don't get it. So the black market does not open. Time to look at our power-up cards. 6 of them now. Oh, this is going to be Christmas. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And after this, we are ready for the Dead King. So, one at a time here. We have a +1 to all abilities. So, okay. We have a +1 to defense and +1 to our purple. We have a -1 food rating. When we ate the Megapede, it was like, oh, we do not need to eat anything more ever. Okay, then we have a +1 to all skills. +2 to attack and a +1 to health. So that is pretty darn good here. Alright, we're going to put this down on our location. And the Dead King is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. And now he's moving 5 units per turn. And you can guess his next target's going to be all the way over here. And I think we're pretty much ready to fight this guy. So let me just recalculate some of my abilities here, and then I'll show you the card that we have. I'm going to just take this turn and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back to the city. We're going to turn in and wait for the Dead King to come to us. So we have a 5 and a hex, so I get more gold. That's great. I will spend 1 of those gold pieces to heal completely. Then we'll spend some gold here. So bear with me a second. $21 gold left. Means our attack is up to 18. Alright, so we have a total of 18 attack. We get a total, let's see, I'm going to increase my blue again by 2. That gets us up to a 12 on our blue. Down to 12 gold left. I'm going to raise my guard up by 1. That's 8 gold left. Okay. All right, so I think we're ready. here is Tanis, our half elf here. We have 18 for our attack, 12 defense, 12 first and second mastery, 10 navigate, 5 explore, 7 survival. He consumes 1 food per turn, has 8 gold, an adrenaline booster, a potion, and a handy elixir yet. He's at full health and can deal 30 damage with his aggressive stance or attack 4 times by spending 4 energy and doing quite a bit more. Alright, so instead of actually waiting for the Dead King, let's try and fight him on our fortification. So Dead King's going to move 5 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go to the shrine here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And we're going to roll all 3 dice. I'm actually going to use 2 energy in order to move cautiously, which means we don't wander. And I make the blue roll, so we don't need to consume food. Now, once we're in a shrine, we get access to a couple of extra items. All right. So I'm just looking at some of the items that we have here. I'm going to spend my 8 gold on a teleportation rune. And that teleportation rune can be used to transport us anywhere we would like to go on the map. So I'm going to spend that 8 gold to have that rune. And the Dead King moves 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And next turn, I'm going to use that teleport. I'm actually going to stay here and get the blessing, I think. Blessing of the Sun. It doesn't really matter too much because the blessing heals. It heals you as if you had the camping gear. But it heals 2 lost health and energy instead of 1, and it stacks with camping gear. So I would be healing 3 health and energy at the beginning of every turn with this blessing. Why don't we just take it? It's not going to really matter too much. It's the end of the game. Dead King is going to take the last city. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's coming after us next round. So this round, we're going to be using our teleportation rune to take us to the fortification. Now, this is our castle that we built. If you'll remember, we have the gold stashed away in the bottom of the ruin there that we're angrily trying to open. Hopefully, we'll be able to open it now. So, Dead King is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're just going to stay here because we want to try and defeat him here. So he'll move again. Actually, we can try and get some gold. So 5 and a 3. Well, I made the Explorer. So I find 4 gold. And I don't have to use any food. That's enough for me to be able to buy 1 more health. So I'm going to purchase 1 more health. And let's see, I'm going to buy a Mystic Tonic for 2 as well. The Mystic Tonic might be good for us in the combat. So I'm down to 0 gold, and then he moves again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's attacking us on our fortification. Now, what does that mean? The fortification, if you battle your opponent there, you may roll a single 10-sided die and apply it as extra damage to their opponent each round. And it hexplodes on a roll of a hex. So I'm going to fight the Dead King. This triggers the end battle. Tanis Half Elven, defying all odds, attacking the Dead King after creating his citadel, his fortress. Okay, the Dead King has 140 health. I am going to do Relentless Strike right off the bat, and I'm also going to guard. So I'm using 2 energy. I have 7 energy remaining. Actually, I'm going to use Relentless Strike multiple times, and each extra time I use it, it's going to cost me more. So I can use it up to 4 times. I'm going to use it all 4 times. The first so they all cost 1 energy. So I go down from 7 down to 4 energy remaining. So I'm guarding at half rank, and I'm doing 18 times 4. So that would be 80 minus, so that'd be 74 damage. 74 damage. And let's see what the Dead King does here. So we're going to, and I also get the D10 fortress damage, and that's 3. Okay. So the Dead King is going to roll D6 here and see what he does against me. 2, the Bone Legion. Oh, group survival. Heroes who succeed deal half damage to the Dead King. Those who fail have their attacks negated by the Bone Legion. If more than half the heroes fail, the Bone Legion absorbs all damage dealt this round, and Murder of Crows also takes effect. So I need to roll my blue. All right. 5. Okay, so I succeed. That means he takes half damage. So 74. That would be 9 4 times. This would be 36. 9 half damage. Okay, and then 3. So he's at 39 lost this round. The 3 is not affected by the initial roll. He has 101 health left. And thankfully, Murder of Crows does not take effect. I would not. That would not be a good thing if I were to take continuous damage every turn. All right, so I have 4 health remaining. I have 16 health and 4 energy remaining. This turn, I think I'm just going to do an aggressive stance for 30 damage, which can't be negated. That will cost me 1 energy. I will also use my guard this turn, so I'm down to 2 energy left. And let's see what the fortification does for damage. And it's a hex. So that re-rolls. That's considered a 1 on the D10. So I do 7 points of damage with the fortification. And the Dead King is going to do a Power Incarnate. The Dead King acts twice this round. Roll the action die twice more. If you roll another 3, the Dead King blocks 30 damage this round. If you roll a third 3, all heroes lose all energy. 3. Okay, so he blocks 30 this round, but piercing is unblockable. So he tries to do that, but he cannot block my aggressive stance damage. One more time, and he rolls a hex. That's Murder of Crows. The Dead King unleashes a swarm of crows. Each hero is surrounded. Now, each time this is rolled, add 1 to the cumulative damage suffered. Surrounded targets suffer 2 health damage during the declaration phase of each round of combat. This damage cannot be reduced or reflected. This effect is not stacked with itself. So, from now on until the end of combat, I'm losing 2 health every turn. So I'm at 14 health at the beginning of this round. He has 71 minus 7 is 64 health left. 64 health left going into the round. I am going to use, and I have 2 energy left. So I'm going to use a adrenaline booster, the adrenaline booster that we got from the Megapede, and let me find out what that does here. So the adrenaline booster, starting next round and lasting for 3 rounds, roll the 6-sided die each round and add the result to the rank of the action you make. So I'm going to use that. Actually, you know what? I'm probably going to heal instead. I'm gonna wait to use the adrenaline booster and just use a handy elixir. That will counteract some of the some of the damage I'm taking from Murder of Crows. So I'm using the Handy Elixir. That will increase my energy up to 5. My health goes back up to 16. And for the next 3 rounds, I'm healing 3 health and 3 energy. So that was the first round of the heal. So I'm going to use Aggressive Stance again to deal 30 unblockable damage. The Fortification, roll the Hex on the D10, and a 9 for a total of 10 damage. Nice. And then I think I will also use Guard one more time. I'm just playing it safe here. Using my Guard ability one more time. Dead King, Bone Legion one more time. So heroes who succeed on a survival check deal half damage. Those who fail have their attacks negated by the Bone Legion. 4 on my survival of 7, so I make it. So he would have taken half damage. Again, I'm getting through that because this is piercing damage, which cannot be reduced. So he has 24 health left. He's been more of a nuisance than very aggressive. We've been actually playing the game for quite a while, so that's to be expected. That last Megapede really was the icing on the cake for us. So we have a ton of extra ranks here. So all right, I'm gonna do one more round. I'm going to spend 1 energy to do 30 damage. And the Dead King, the Fortification, D10, so that's going to be 4 extra. And the Dead King is doing Entropic Wave. Group health. Each hero suffers 8 health damage. If this damage kills a hero, they are raised by the king to fight by his side. They cannot be targeted, and at the end of each round, they use their basic attack action against a random remaining hero. So, thankfully, I don't die from that. I have 8 health left, and the Dead King is dead. Deader than he was. So, we defeat the Dead King in our own turf after he's taken all of the cities. There were several things that we could have done that we didn't do in the game. Obviously, this is just a small taste of the game. We went through probably about 12 circumstances, only about 4 quests, and each deck has 64 cards. So yeah, thanks for watching. Here is the brute. I'll go ahead and actually take a picture of that so that you can see it a little bit clearer on the screen. And I'll follow up with comments later after the video. Hey guys, thanks for watching. You just saw a 1-player double up game. We played the Half Elf Brute, one of our striker roles. We defeated a bunch of encounters. We obtained quite a few power-ups and spent about an hour and a half building our character to take out the Dead King. Few things fun that happened. Obviously, we had to run from the troglodytes. They were just overpowering us, and I could not handle that combat. Became frozen in the marsh by some storm wolves, and I could not for the life of me open a locked chest in one of the ruins that we encountered. So that's okay though. I think we ended up placing a fortress on the top of that one, and I'd like to think that Tanis is probably still working on getting that open. So I'm sure he probably in the end will have his gold, which is all that matters really, for adventurers at least. Black Market didn't open. We defeated 3 out of the 10 bosses, including the Dead King, and I had a lot of fun. So I hope you guys had fun watching. Made a few mix-ups during the game, but that's to be expected. Trying to figure everything out as I'm also taping it. So I do apologize for those mix-ups, but I hope you had a good time, and I'm looking forward to doing another video for you. Thanks. Have a great day. And thank you for your continued support of Hexplored.